Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents DK Life Stories, Jesse Owens by James Buckley Jr. Read by Vaughn, Joseph. Dear listener, the story of American Olympic hero Jesse Owens is covered in gold for the 4 medals he won in 1936. It's also covered with racism, which he battled with throughout his life. Jesse grew up in the segregated South, but fought his way out using speed and courage. After defeating the insane ideas of Nazism, he returned to a United States that remained divided by race, even as it united in celebrating his victories. Jesse's story mirrors the struggle of African Americans in the 20th century. It also tells the tale of how some star athletes struggled to reach the same heights away from their sports as they achieved in them. Jesse was one of the fastest people of all time, but he could not outrun all the troubles in his life. But Jesse is also a comeback story. After reaching the heights of fame and then falling, he climbed back to a place of love and respect. And that might have been the greatest victory of all. Now let's go back to a time when the world needed a hero. On your marks, get set, listen. Happy listening, James Buckley Jr. Chapter 1. A Slow Start. Jesse Owens was born into extreme poverty in Oakville, Alabama, USA in 1913. As soon as he could, Jesse started a lifelong race to escape it. Jesse was born James Cleveland Owens about 50 years after slavery officially ended in the United States. However, life for African Americans was still very difficult, especially in the southern states. Jesse's parents, Henry and Emma Owens, were the children of people who had been enslaved. The end of the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation had set enslaved people free. However, being free and being safe and successful were different things. What is the Emancipation Proclamation? This was a document written in 1863 by President Abraham Lincoln that officially freed all people who were enslaved in the southern United States. Henry and Emma married in 1895. Henry worked as a sharecropper in the town of Oakville, Alabama. He worked long hours in the fields for very little money. Together they had 12 children, though 3 sadly died at birth. Of those surviving children, the 3 oldest were daughters, and the next 6 were sons. This large family lived in a small wooden house with just 3 rooms. When they were old enough, the children often joined Henry picking crops and tending the fields. The younger kids attended school in a 1-room schoolhouse, when there was a teacher available, that is. Sharecropping. This was a type of farming often found in the South in the years after the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, which was fought between the southern slave-owning states and the northern states. African Americans who wanted to earn money farming generally could not afford to buy their own land, so they rented it, usually from white landowners. The farmers had to pay the rent with a share of the crops they grew. Unfortunately, the system worked in favor of the landowners. They gave the farmers seeds and gear in return for more crops. However, if the crops failed, the farmers fell into debt and often never earned a profit on their work. Some called it slavery by another name. Throughout the southern United States, tens of thousands of African Americans worked and lived like this. The white governments of those states passed Jim Crow laws that created a 2-part way of life. For example, black people could not go to theaters with white people, or share most public toilets or pools. African American children were educated at separate schools. In some places, there were even separate drinking fountains. What were the Jim Crow laws? Rules that created separate public places for white people and black people. In 1913, while living this hard life, the Owens family got what Emma called a gift child. James Cleveland, Jesse, her 7th son, was born on the 12th of September of that year.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?